Today I'm doing a huddle with my team and I'm explaining to them like, look, we have these blasts that we send out, voicemail, email, text, and typically we're sending them out to our 2 through 30 list, our freshest leads, right? But I said on Monday, I sent blast out, individual blast to 2 through 30, 30 through 90, 90 day plus.
On Monday, I sent like 8 different blasts to 8 different lists. I was serious. I sent a blast to the cold list. I said, hey, last time I talked to you, I couldn't get you qualified. Did anything change? I sent a blast to my not interested list. 600 people that told me fly a kite. And I said, hey, I know last time we talked, you weren't interested. The market's not getting any better. Have you changed your mind about some potential savings or cash out? Guess what? 2 of them are loans this week. Not interested.
I sent out like 8 different blasts to 8 different lists. And I was telling the team, like, I'm getting business from all of them, even like the recycle bin, the not interested, the cold. I'm trying to explain to you there's business everywhere, because if you catch people at the right place at the right time, they'll do business with you. Well, a lot of people tell you they're not interested or they don't qualify, but something may change 30 days down the line, 60 days down the line, 120 days down the line, 150 days down the line, 1 year down the line. But you're not going to know that unless you're showing up at the right place at the right time. And how do you show up at the right place at the right time? Well, you have to build a flow and a process so you're constantly showing up. So that gives you better odds of potentially showing up at the right place at the right time. But if I'm never there or doing action to be there, then I'm never going to know if it's the right place at the right time, because you're just in my not interested list and I never touch you again. Then I pull up a random call. When I tell you random, it was the most random call clip I had. I just went into my call clips and I pulled up a random call, and it ended up being from last year, June. So more than a year old.
So today we're going to play a random call for me. So let's take a listen.
And then I tell the team, we're going to play my call clip today. I want you guys to give me feedback. I never listened to the call. I didn't even know what the call was. We play the call clip. It was a classic example of a gentleman with a $500,000 FHA loan, 4.99. He wanted $50,000 cash out on a home equity line.
And I know her interest rate is 4.99 right now. Is that on a jumbo or a conventional loan?
An FHA.
She's on an FHA at 4.99.
Right.
You want how much cash out?
50.
I tried to pitch him the refi. He wouldn't take it. I tried to get the social multiple times. He wouldn't give it. And he didn't qualify for the HELOC. And he wouldn't budge on the social.
You got to give you her social now?
No, I'll wait until I get back to you.
All right. Call me and let me know, man.
right.
Thanks so much.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye.
So we listened to the call clip and I got feedback from the team, and then I gave myself feedback last. I'm like, you know what? I feel like I could have did a little better on the relationship. I feel like I was playing hardball with him because I was just trying to get the social and close him down. And maybe I should have played a little more relationship building, talking about things we had in common, because there was some things we had in common that I didn't even share because the guy had me with my guard up.
He was so confident about himself, and you wouldn't back down on your statements. And he sounded like he didn't have the accent, but he had a very East Coast vibe to him. And you got to meet them at their level to have any chance, or they're going to run you over.
Just off what Eric said, it's about matching your client's energy, right? Like, he threw me off my building a relationship part because he went straight into, hey, this is what we got. He hit me with like 3 objections, no social. He's working with other banks. So he threw me off my flow. So I had to match him where he was. And I couldn't really focus on getting the emotional benefit because he wasn't letting me even get there.
So then I'm like to the team, let's look up this lead in the CRM. And I looked this lead up and it pops up. And I'm like, let's look at the follow-up. So I followed up with him and he ended up telling me, no, I'm not interested. Stop contacting me, or do not contact me again.
I think you gave him just enough to keep him intrigued. Did you end up turning this deal, Ace? Did you close this?
I'm looking at it in Bonzo. I texted him and emailed him right after. And then I called him for 4 days straight and texted him, didn't hear back from you. Kept calling him. And then he said, no, stop texting me.
So I'm like, for fun, let's call him right now. And I called him live on speaker.
Should we call him right now?
We should call him right now.
And the guy answered. He's like, who's this? I'm like, Alex Schrafty. We talked last year. You know, you're supposed to get back with me. Did you end up getting that taken care of? He said, yep, I got it all taken care of. I'm good. And he hung up before I could say anything.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
Say, hey,
Alex Schrafty, call him Miss back.
Thanks. Please stay on the line.
oh,
What's up, Miss How you been, sir?
I don't know who this is.
Oh, this is Alex Schrafty, man. Me and you talked at the end of last year about getting you a home equity line. I'm a financial consultant with...
I don't need anything, thank you.
Did you end up getting it from your bank, sir? All right, he's an attorney, so I'm not going to call him again.
Jump off of that call. Then I'm talking to my team again. We're just going over feedback and stuff. Then my team's like, well, you know, FHA, $500,000 loan. He probably has mortgage insurance. There's probably an opportunity to save him some money. And then we listened to more of the old call, and we found out he had 2 car loans. He's paying like $2,500 a month on. Then I'm like, you know what? You guys are getting to my head now. I'm going to call him again. So I call him for a second time.
He's too smart for his own good. from that standpoint, where he feels like he's smarter than he is and he knows a little more than the average person. But I mean, he brought up himself, oh, there might be some debts on there, but those were charge-offs long ago. Oh, you're paying $2,500 a month on 110,000 car loans, and you have 630 credit and charge-offs. Like people that make good money but spend a lot.
Now you're making me call him again. See what you do to me.
And he usually has, the Google activator voice on there that says, please state your name to see if they're available. And I'm like, it's Alex. This is the last call I give. Please pick up. That's what I told Google. And then he picked up the phone.
Hi, if you record your name and
$160,000.
reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
Mr. Levy, it's Alex again. Last phone call.
Thanks. Please stay on the line.
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Levy, it's Alex again.
And I'm like, look, man, we talked last year. We had a good conversation. I thought I was your friend. Relax on me. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I just finished surgery. I'm a little cranky. I'm like, no worries. I start talking to him.
I just wanted to real quickly talk to you before I withdraw the file. Me and you talked a little longer last year. I know that you're a lawyer and that you're talking on behalf of Claudia, and you were telling me that you needed about $50,000 on a home equity line, but you also told me that you owed about $400,000 on your mortgage and an FHA loan at 4.99. I just want to see, is that still the case for you? And last time you needed about $50,000, but you told me you were going to talk to your bank and get back with me. I never checked back with you. Did you end up getting the $50,000?
Well, I'm sorry for being so abrupt to you before, but
That's what I was saying, man. We talked for like an hour, last year, and we made friends. I was like, you forgot me.
we took care of everything.
I find out he has 3 cars. He's paying $4,500 a month on those cars.
You mentioned last time 2 automobiles that you were paying $1,100 and $1,400 on. Well, that's $2,500 a month. Did you consolidate those?
No, well, now we have 3 of them.
3 of them.
One we're paying 11, one that's paying 14, and one that's paying 16.
Holy smokes. So now you're talking about $4,100 a month, over $50,000 a year. And that's 3 cars. Who's the third one for?
For an extra car.
Is it a nice car?
It's an S500 Mercedes.
Oh, now we're talking, man.
Then I get his social security, which he never gave me last year when I tried like 6 times.
My good friend Tony Robbins always says, when everybody runs from the bear, you poke it. And right now's the time you should poke the bear and invest in the market if you're interested in that. And if not, you could always do a 15-year and cut your loan in half and still save money by getting rid of those automobiles. So there's different creative ways to structure this for you. But what I'll do is I'll send you an email with exactly what I could do after I take a look at the soft report of the credit again for you like I did last time. And I'll tell you what the opportunity is, okay? Just give me a couple of hours to work on it. All right. Date of birth is 8/20.
Right.
And then confirm her social for me for identity purposes. I got everything I need. Let me work on this for you, and I'll get back with you, Mr. Thanks so much for your time. All right. Thank you.
And then it ended up being a good call with good notes. And now I'm pricing it out, working on it. And everybody clapped at the end because it was crazy that this was totally random. And it proved my exact point that I pulled up a random call from last year. The guy's in the not interested list. I called now and he hung up on me a year later. I called again, and now this might be a $600,000-$700,000 deal.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
You know what I mean, bro? These small fucking decisions to just do something extra, and get uncomfortable. And look what happens, like I wasn't even going to call him again.
And it was crazy because it was all raw, random, and just authentic. And people seen it in real time. So that's what I mean about there's business everywhere if you show up at the right place at the right time, but you have to be doing the actions to keep starting the fires in all the different places that you have inside of your business.